first comment to the broadcast and for super hearts to the broadcast. Is it working? How come nothing happened there? Craig, thank you for the super hearts. Let's make sure this thing is working. Maybe if I just go like this. Maybe if I click this button. That's supposed to go off when you guys send super hearts. I don't know. Hey Earth, Wind, and Firefly. Hey Chloe. Hey Steven. Hey Tidewell. Hey guys. We're going to do some yoga. So we're going to play games later tonight as promised. Shout out to Chip, who has a 5-day weekend and wants to do games tonight and is a monthly supporter of this channel, so he gets to have a say. Hi Leah. How are you? How have you been? Hi. Hey Ben. Oh, thanks Steven. Yeah, I know. The quarantine can get quite monotonous, I'm sure. So we're going to do a flow. Now I say we. By we I mean me. I'm a yoga teacher, but I can't teach yoga right now, so I'm going to do my own yoga. I might give little tips and words of wisdom for people who practice yoga. I love the title of this, by the way. It's The Peace Comes Not by Doing, but by Undoing. And you want to go fast? I actually want to just finish checking something real quick. Sorry. Welcome to A Moment in Time with Taylor. Thank you for being here. This whole alert box thing is all new to me, so I'm just not totally sure if it's going to work, but hopefully it will. So I wanted to get logged in on that and then pull up my YouTube comments. We are live on YouTube and Periscope right now. I go live on YouTube every single day, 7 days a week, for 3 hours a day. Mom, you were first on YouTube. My mom said, dang it, I was trying to be first. It does sound a little weird, yeah. I'm literally eating my dinner. Okay, all right, I'll see you later, Chloe. Come back for games if you're around then. We're probably going to try to get in the hot tub too. Hi, Ange. Wow, Buzz Baker, all right. Hey, Chris. Oh, these are the people that have supported this channel over the last 30 days, so huge thank you and round of applause for these awesome people that make this channel possible. It's working, Ange, it's working. Yes, thank you for the super hearts, Ange. And thank you, everyone, for being here. All right, so if you have a yoga practice, you might want to do some of the things I'm doing here today because you've already been practicing yoga and you're comfortable with different poses that you may see. Before trying anything new, whether it's yoga in general or a posture you've never tried before, always consult your doctor or your physical therapist. Definitely consult yourself and your own body, and don't do anything that's going to cause any pain or injury or exacerbate something that's already existing. So I'm not here to teach you. I can't see you. I don't know what you look like. If you want to get one-on-one yoga classes with me, you can get them on my website. Otherwise, I just like to share my yoga practice with you guys, put some peace out into this kind of chaotic period of time we're living through right now. Get some exercise from home. I do get quite warm. I definitely get, my whole body gets sore from this yoga flow, so definitely a way to keep working out even with the gyms being closed. All right, love you, Mom. Midnight, thank you for the super hearts. Thank you, King Midnight. All hail. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. So let's put our hair up. Let's get ready to rock. I'm going to start out with 5 sun salutations. I don't know if that's going to hold. I got a lot of hair. We're going to get warm, so we might as well plan ahead for that. All right. Oop. Shout out to everyone in my private Periscope group who hung out with me while I took an Earth Science quiz and got ready for this broadcast earlier. I did get a 100. Thank you, Ben. Freaking midnight. Relax, relax. I'm not undressing. Okay, I took off a sweater. I still have clothes on. Let's do our sun salutations. If you're going to do it, go slow, go careful. Remember, every day our body is different. It's going to feel different on different sides, so just take your time, breathe, and stop if you have any pain or discomfort. All right, Pringles, what's up? And if you see a strange Arabic comment and then your app freezes, just close the app, reopen the app, come in here, and then if moderators see that, will you just mute that person so they're not able to continue commenting? Hopefully Periscope will fix that issue soon, but I hear that it is still happening. Love you. Let's do this. Starting with setting your intention, your sankalpa for your practice. I'll be right back, just 1 second. That's one round. I'm going to do 4 more. Do it at your own pace with your own breath. Typically we inhale when we lift the heart up, then exhale when we fold the heart forward towards the floor and then towards the knees. Before I do the last 3, even if you don't want to do a whole yoga practice, you don't want to do much, if you've been sitting a lot or even standing a lot, my guess is that for most of you who don't practice yoga, you don't get a whole lot of time upside down. And that could be a really great way to decompress your spine, especially your neck, your cervical spine here, which can get quite pinched up. You know, when you sleep the wrong way or whatever, there's over 30 muscles in your neck alone. So a great, just one pose, if you want to just do one thing, and say, hey, I did some yoga today. You can do Uttanasana, which is called intense stretch. It doesn't have to be that intense. Take your time with it. You're going to start standing up with your feet at hip distance or even wider. You can take your feet wider. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, pull your heart and your head forward away from your hips and then down towards the ground. It's okay, it doesn't matter how far you come. Your hands don't have to come to the ground. You can bend your knees quite substantially here and just focus on decompressing the neck. Letting the weight of the head pull your spine in the opposite direction. You might like to feel the stretch in the back of the legs by straightening the legs. but you shouldn't feel it in the backs of the knees. So you don't want to feel like a lot of strain in the backs of the knees. If you do feel that, just bend your knees a little bit until you don't feel that there, but you feel it instead in the muscle belly, mainly of the hamstrings here. Keep your weight in your heels. Imagine you're lifting your sit bones to the sky. Top of the head's coming towards the earth. If your hands don't touch the ground, or even if they do, you might want to cross your arms. And take a few breaths. Just decompressing as long as you'd like. Make sure when you do decide to come up, you come up very slowly so you don't get a head rush, because all the blood and lymph is all kind of moving towards your head, so you want to give yourself some time. You might even, before you come all the way up, after you've been folding, you might come up halfway, maybe even putting your hands on your thighs, kind of coming up halfway, and then maybe coming up all the way. And take it anytime you feel like, ooh, I might feel a little bit too much, just stop there, and then when you're ready, you'll come all the way up at your own pace. You don't have to swing out and up like you see me doing here, especially if you tend to have vertigo or dizziness or even potentially blood pressure concerns. This could so be an Aladdin meme. The fuck is next juice? A367, you ask me that like every day. You love you too, Chi-Town? I love you too. You're loving the minimalist living. This is just my studio. Actually, I am kind of minimalist with my furniture. Have no fear, special features here. Hey, hero, what's up? Ooh, I see some hearts. The kitten lover. Yay, who doesn't love some kittens? Thanks for the hearts. All right, so I'm going to do 3 more of those. I just wanted to share that forward fold stretch with you. You watch me every day? Thank you so much. Yeah, I do go live every single day, 7 days a week for 3 hours a day. I'm Taylor. All right. Next juice is a connected group of people who value positivity. Sorry, I didn't answer because that person asks so many times, but other people might wonder. So that's where we got the name from. We do a lot of different types of content on here, but it's all meant to invoke positivity and community. So Nex is short for Nexus, which means a connected group, and then juice is like that positive, juicy quality, that good stuff that we get from being a part of this community. So it's not about me, it's about us. It's about we. Not about me, it's about we. Kind of like yoga. Yoga means connection and union as well. I also read another alternative meaning of yoga today, which means tying together the threads of the mind. Who is that? Was that more of you, Ange? Thank you so much for the super hearts. How did I miss that? Maybe I do need to extend that timer a little bit longer here so that I don't miss who's sending super hearts. It is Ange. Thank you, Ange. Thank you. Let me extend this. There we go. There we go, so I don't miss it next time. It might clear out when I hit save. Sorry if it does. No, it didn't. Okay. Yay, thank you. Thank you. Okay. 3 more. Try not to get distracted here with all the good stuff going on. Even when you lift your arms up in the air, try to keep your shoulders down away from your neck, okay? So let's give our neck some love in this flow today. Warming up the body. In downward dog, I really enjoy bending both of my knees to help pull my heart forward and then straightening my legs to my comfort level. Maybe pressing my heels back towards the earth. So I'm just checking in with my body between sets, feeling if my spine feels like it needs a little twist, seeing if my shoulders feel like they need to be loosened up a bit, and then I'll go into my last two sun salutations. If you don't know what a sun salutation is, I do have a YouTube video on my channel that I just realized I forgot to go back to my YouTube comments. Sorry. There we go. On my YouTube channel, which is, I think, a broken down, like slowed down version of the sun salutations, so that you can see each individual pose separately and kind of a breakdown on each pose, and then the flow of them together. It's like 11 or 12 poses all together. And I try to alternate which foot I step back with. So I'll step back with the same foot I step forward with, and even when I kind of adjust into my downward dog, sometimes I step my feet forward a little bit. I try to use that same leading foot for each set. So first I'll start with the right leg, then the left, then the right, then the left, and then the right for the fifth. So on the second to last one, I'm on the left foot leading. Meaning I step back with my left foot into my plank. I uncurl my left foot first when I come into my upward facing dog. And as I step back into I step forward into my downward dog, I bring left foot forward first. 5 breaths in downward dog. When I step forward out of my downward dog into forward fold, I bring my left foot forward first. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale out and up at your own pace. It might take you a couple breaths to get up. And exhale, hands to the heart center. One last flow. Inhaling up. Exhaling to fold. Inhaling, lengthen. Exhale, right leg back this time for plank. If you're a beginner, you can bring your knees to the ground, then work on lowering just your chest and chin to work on that upper body strength a bit. Hips are hovering, lower the hips. Come up, you can come up into baby cobra if you don't want to go all the way up into upward facing dog, which is fine. And then you, if you're coming back to hands and knees, you curl your toes under and come to downward dog, stepping the right leg forward and then the left just a bit to give yourself a nice inverted V shape. Three more breaths here. And then the right leg comes forward first for our forward fold. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling up to close. The sun salutations. Exhale, hands come down. Good stuff. So that's a great way to warm up the body. Even if you just do that, that's a great thing to do in the morning to help stretch and open up your body when you first wake up, which is oftentimes where we feel the stiffest because we haven't been moving as much as we do throughout the day. So we can feel kind of cramped and stiff from sleeping, especially in one position. So when we wake up, we can do some gentle stretches. Maybe something like that is something you want to do, however many flows you want to do. Some people on the solstices and the equinoxes, so 4 times a year, they do 108 sun salutations just in a row. 108, it's a kind of a holy number in Hindu culture, which is deeply linked with yoga. Even though yoga itself is not a religion, it was created in India, where the predominant religion is Hinduism. And there's a lot of Christians in India too. I'm not sure if that's which one's most predominant at this point, but Hinduism is still linked historically to India and yoga. I'm just stretching out my quads a little bit. Now I'm going to go into a little bit more challenging of a sun salutation. So instead of just bringing my arms up and doing my little mini back bend like I was doing for that first pose, instead I'm going to send my weight into my heels, send my hips back, keeping my knees over my ankles. I don't want my knees to come forward past my ankles, and lift my arms up like this for chair pose. So that'll be position 1. Position 2 will be the same. Then for position 3, if I feel strong enough, I'm going to try to hop back using a lot of core strength, a lot of upper body strength into my chaturanga, so my low plank. Then the same thing, coming forward up into cobra or upward facing dog, back to downward dog, and then in downward dog we're going to do 2 warrior 1 poses. So we're going to add an additional pose. Warrior 1, to break it down, I'm just pulling my pants up so you can see my feet a little bit better. You're going to have your front foot facing the short edge of the mat, if you have one. The back foot is about a 45-degree angle, so you could almost, if you bring your right foot over a bit, you could imagine this foot is pointing towards the corner of your yoga mat. It's okay if it's out a little bit more than that. The right knee is bent over the front ankle, and the arms are up. Torso is facing the front over the bent knee, maybe even looking up if you can keep your balance for warrior 1. Same thing with the other side. Left foot would be forward, right foot would be back as far as is comfortable. The back heel is down, so it's a narrower stance than a lot of our warrior 2 or even triangle pose in a lot of cases. Arms up for warrior 1. I saw a funny little meme of somebody in warrior pose. So the more conventional warrior pose is warrior 2, where the back foot is completely opposite. So I have my left foot facing, my front foot I should say. Front's not the right word since I'm facing this way. So my left foot facing out away from my body, right toe is pointing forward, left knee bent over that left ankle. You don't want it to come forward past the ankle, keeping my ribs and shoulders over the hips, arms up, looking over the left hand, keeping my butt tucked in by engaging my core. And this is warrior 2. This is typically what you see for warrior poses. You can easily switch between the sides by just switching which way the feet are facing. The bent knee leg is going to be facing away from you. The back leg, or the other leg, the toes will be facing forward. And you just look over the other hand, keeping the core engaged. So someone had made a meme where instead of calling it warrior pose, they called it worrier pose. And they were kind of showing like thought bubbles all around someone of what they might be worrying about, when they're in their warrior pose. So I thought that was kind of cute. But no worries. Hakuna Matata, right? Michael, thanks for sharing this out. Oh, new MTV. Oh, you. How I have missed you. All right. So we're going to do 3 with the variations. The rest of it's the same. And then after we do the downward dog, still 5 breaths in down dog, I'm going to, if I feel good and strong in my core, and core I don't mean just the front, but also my back muscles and my upper body muscles, maybe I will hop forward into my forward fold as well. So you'll see all of that demonstrated together in a flow, right? Meow. And there's an additional flow between the 2 warriors, if you want. Otherwise, you can just switch between your warriors without coming through the entire flow again. don't see any questions, so I'm going to keep going like that 2 more times. Hey, Frankie. Hey, Pony. Brian, what's up? Thanks, A367. I appreciate you. Okay. On to the next. Now I'll do our forward folds. I'm just gonna check my other phone for my little cheat sheet over here with the flow written out on it. Okay. We'll do more folds after this. We're gonna do 2 folds to begin with. As we fold this time, we'll take our pointer and middle fingers and hook them around our big toes. Maybe opening the feet wide enough to take the elbows in. Or you can even hook them the other way and have the elbows going out. we'll do one more now. The feet will go on the hands. So I'm going to tuck my hands under like this, so my palms are facing up. I don't know if you can see that good. My feet will go on top of my hands, and then I can wiggle my feet side to side a little bit to decompress my wrists and massage my hands a little for 5 breaths. Padahastasana. So good. And come up. I'm going to go right into triangle pose, which are the same feet as our warrior 2 pose, but you don't bend either leg. So both legs stay straight. You can always, in all poses, have a micro bend in the knee, so you're not hyperextending your knee and bending it the wrong way, but you're not bending into a lunge. Okay? Open your palms facing forward. Exhale, reach your front arm away, 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 pressing the alternating hip away, and then come down into your triangle posture. Trikonasana. Switching sides. Reaching, 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 and then bending. And then we'll do revolve triangle. For this one, the back foot can turn to face the front a bit, and if the heel lifts up, that's okay as well. The other way. Then we'll go into extended side angle. World Breaker Hulk. What's up? I like to take a pretty wide stance for this one to make sure my knee doesn't come over my ankle. Stretching the side body is a really big benefit of yoga because we don't often get movements in our day. Even if you work with your hands, if you're a laborer, we often don't reach like this for something where we do a lot of forward stuff. So by opening up the side, we really get into those intercostal muscles, the oblique muscles, and we give those some more space. In yoga, we call good space or open space sukha. So putting some sukha in there, you can use your breath to increase the amount of space and sukha in the body. In the revolved version, sometimes I like to bring my back knee down to the mat for this one, so I can set up my arms the way that I like them. Bringing my arm across midline, coming outside of the front leg, and then curling the back toe under, lifting that back knee for revolved side angle. Revolved side angle on the other side. I believe from here we're going into wide-legged forward folds. Let me just double check. Yep. So hands to ground, hands on hips, hands behind, and then big toes. Ground, hips, behind, and toes. Just gonna take a sip of water. So this will be great for the neck. This is really good decompression here. Hey there, Phoenix. Hey, how are you? Be gentle on your knees here. If you need to put a bend in the knees, just do that. Hands on the hips. Hug your elbows back. So we're opening up the chest. We're strengthening the back here. And we're folding. You can probably see me bending my knees pretty substantially because the last few times I did this flow, I felt a little pain in my knees after this. So I'm taking it easy, feeling a little lightheaded, so I'm going to take a moment. Good. So I'm going to take my hands behind my back this time and interlace my fingers like this, but behind. Take a deep breath in. Exhale to fold. If your hands can come up away from your back, great. If not, also great. comes up last, right after the shoulders. You can feel that warmth, like I feel that warmth from the back of my upper back, my neck, even my face, like all that blood and lymph that kind of gets circulated and moves throughout the body. I'm going to read those comments. Just give me a minute because I'm going to do just one more. Yeah, just one more forward fold and then I'll come over. So now we're doing that same thing we did earlier. We're taking our pointer and middle fingers together. We're going to hook the big toes and we're going to hold that for 5 breaths, okay? Gonna check those comments. Hey, peace, love. Hey, I just met you. Do you just want to be called peace, love, or do you have like a other name you want to go by? Is it better? And peace is in my title actually. Oh, did you just leave? I was just asking, do you want to be called peace, love, or you want to be called like a name? I don't mind calling you peace, love. I've called people weirder things on the internet based on their usernames. And yeah, peace is right in my title. That's interesting. I wonder if you put that idea in my head. It says, peace is attained not by doing, but by undoing. And that's kind of what we're doing. That's why I'm talking a lot about focusing on decompressing the neck and the spine. A lot of those forward folds, kind of like letting the weight of your head pull your spine in a little bit of a different direction. Rosemary? Rosemary is what you like to be called, or did I miss something here? Hey, Gabby. Is it better to go at a slower pace? I have a hard time going slow. Is it better? I wouldn't say it's better one way or the other. Arguably, it might be a bit safer to go slower because you're taking less risk. You're not going like so fast that you're not necessarily feeling every pose. I forget which Swami or guru said this, but there was a saying in yoga that the asana begins when you want to stop doing it. So you're in a posture and it starts to feel hard and it starts to feel intense and not painful. Okay, so if it's painful, you want to stop. You don't want to hurt your body, then you won't be able to do it for prolonged periods of time. But if it just feels like, whoo, that's a stretch, right? It's not hurting, but it's a sensation, a strong sensation. It's very common for us to move away from pain. We actually move away from pain much more quickly and more consistently than we move towards pleasure. So as we find something that feels intense, we want to move away from it, and some yogis believe that that's really like the juice, right? Let's use our own name here. The juice of the asana is that desire to move away from something uncomfortable and to maintain it and to say it's okay. Another quote is that the body is not stiff, the mind is stiff. The mind kind of like is trying to keep the body from doing what it can naturally do. You don't want to hurt yourself though. So if it's actually painful, you want to stop. If you haven't done it in a long time, you don't want to go too far. But if you're doing a regular yoga practice, longer holds can actually be more challenging and really help to lengthen and pull and even cause micro tears on the muscle, which will cause that buildup of ATP and that soreness that you'll feel the next day, and your muscles can actually grow from that. But most obviously, you'll have oftentimes increased range of motion as long as you're not hurting yourself in your joints and your muscles and so on. So I like to do a little bit slower, but I'm also trained in Hatha yoga, so I'm a Hatha yoga teacher. So Hatha yoga is more conventionally known as longer holds. You hold, it's considered more of a yin style. So there's the yin and the yang. A yin is like a longer hold, or you hold the pose for at least 2 minutes. I'm not doing 2 minutes here. I'm just taking 5 breaths. That's all. I use that little timer. I take 5 deep breaths and I go on. you could challenge yourself with 10 breaths. But if you like the, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like a vinyasa flow where you're going pose, 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 pose. That's fine. You could even say that it's different things. So you're working more maybe on cardio then, right? You're getting your body moving. You're building up that heat, that agni, that internal fire, and you are sweating and, your heart is pounding. That has health benefits too, of course. You just don't want to move so fast that you are hurting yourself, not aware because you're just flying through it. And also so that you can't really go that deep into a posture or hold a posture for a while, because that has another set of benefits, isometrics in like conventional, fitness training, you would call that. So yeah, do what feels good to you, especially right now. Be compassionate with yourself. Don't feel like, should I be doing it this way? Am I doing it wrong? Am I doing anything right? That can kind of leak into this self-criticism of like, oh my gosh, I'm never doing anything right. And that can leak into your yoga mat. But another saying, I was looking at a bunch of yoga quotes earlier, is like, if you fall, your yoga mat will be there to catch you, So kind of like letting it all out, by examining ourselves and finding these little things that maybe are not ideal and perfect, we can grow and develop, and we can also accept the fact that we'll never be perfect. We don't expect our children and our spouse, sometimes we have unrealistic expectations, but our friends and our loved ones to be perfect. So why do we expect ourselves to be perfect? It's almost easier for us to be compassionate to other people and not as compassionate to ourselves. So I challenge you to kind of work with that. Be compassionate towards yourself. Do what feels good for you, especially at this time if it's been extra stressful for you with stuff going on. Maybe you're homeschooling your kids, you're stuck in your house, you can't travel like you want to, you can't go out to the places you like to go. So just give yourself a little extra compassion these days, this time, Hey, Gabby. Hey, Jimmy. I was just doing a little bit of yoga, and now I'm chatting with a couple people in the chat here. Hey, Jeremy. Do I have a pose for lower back pain? So back pain is very, that's probably the number one question we get as yoga teachers is, what can you do for my back pain? Because doctors and people will say, try yoga, it can help with back pain. And that's absolutely true. I've heard countless numbers of people who have basically healed their back pain, or at least lessened their back pain, through yoga practices. However, we have, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but we have many different vertebrae. So our spine, our back, right, our spine really starts at the base of the skull. So yeah, that's the neck. It's the cervical spine though, and it's all connected. So if something's kind of off up here, it can affect down here. If something's kind of off down here, it can affect up here. If something's off in your foot, it can affect your neck. It's all very connected, which is yoga, which means union. So there's so many different things that could be going on with your back. So like if you can actually get an x-ray and double check for bulging discs, herniated discs, slip discs, that's really awesome and key. Chiropractors can often help with movements of the spine like that, because you don't want to do anything that's going to worsen your pain or exacerbate your pain, and no two back symptoms are the same. So what works for one person's lower back might make your back worse, or what works for you might make their back hurt more. So it kind of depends on really what's going on with your back. But I can show you the movements of the spine. So you can try these gently and slowly, see which ones seem to feel good. If you have back spasms, try to notice maybe what movement you may have been doing, what position your spine was in when you did that. And when you feel relief, maybe try to pay attention to what position your spine is in during that. And that can help you find which yoga poses will likely work best for your particular back pain. So let's start with the normal curves of the spine. So in an ideal skeleton, a really healthy spine, you would have like a forward curve, okay, this way. Let's see, which way are you guys facing? So this curve for you, sorry, I'm just in here. So this is like this. This is for you guys a C. Okay, so yeah, sorry, it's backwards for me. So it's okay, so you would have almost like a mini C in the back of your neck, and then a C flipped around for pretty much from your shoulders down to the bottom of your ribs, because your ribs are there and your ribs cause a natural kind of hunch, right? Like a hunched back. But then your low back has the same curve as your neck, which is a C curve again. So you have an indentation in the low back and in the neck, ideally, and then a little bit of an outdent in your around your ribs. So one thing I find with a lot of people is their heads are not carried in an optimum way, and mine is one of these. So I carry my head slightly forward. Not as bad as it used to be, but most of us have this going on where our heads are actually sitting a little bit forward. This causes a lot of strain and tension on the neck, the upper back muscles, and all those muscles, because they're connected, it can radiate down. So one really key thing that I find with almost all of my yoga students is if you pull your head back so that you're imagining your ears, you can even take your fingers, touch your ears, and draw an imaginary line down your neck to your shoulders and see where it comes. So if your head is forward and you draw this line down, you won't even hit your neck. Really, you're forward here, right? So I want to pull my ears back over my shoulders, and this is going to help to facilitate that curve, and it's also going to support my spine and the healthy curves of my spine the best way possible. And then the low back can be different things. So where you're sitting, you might even want to, and I'm grabbing my butt, but that's kind of what you're doing. When you're sitting, you might even grab your tush. Look, I'll grab this little chair here. I should probably say glutes, but you know, whatever you want to call it. Oh, thank you for the super hearts. Rocky Toi, thank you for the super hearts. I appreciate that. So I'm gonna grab my butt, okay, grab my glute, and I'm gonna pull it gently out away from my midline and also back, okay? And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. And what this does is this opens up your sit bones away from each other a little bit, gives you a wider base of support, but you might also notice it really supports and facilitates that curve in my low back, where a lot of us, when we sit down, we have more of a, see how my low back curve has kind of disappeared, especially if you're on the computer. See how I'm pulling my body forward, or even on my phone. If I'm on my couch, you know, I'm really not getting a great curvature of my spine. This is a really bad position to be in. So if you're gonna sit on your couch, try to sit. This doesn't have a good back support, and I don't want to make it fall over. You want to sit far back on your couch. So maybe even put like a pillow to support that curvature. And again, just grab your tush, open it up, and that will automatically give you more of a curve in that low back. Okay, and this isn't even yoga. This is just like posture, right? Thank you for those super hearts. I missed who those were from. Were those from Rocky again? All right, so once you're situated in a nice healthy position, right, ears are back over the shoulder, sit bones are open up nice and wide, there's a few different poses, postures that you can do, and these are just to demonstrate movements of your spine. There's tons of different poses that'll work with these different curves and movements, but for now, just basics, right? So this is going to be what I call seated cat-cow. You can do this on hands and knees. I'll do it this way, it's a little bit easier to see. Bring my hands to my knees. I'm going to inhale, lift my heart, gently lift my chin. You don't have to drop your head all the way back and pinch your neck. Just kind of lift it up. And you can see that's called extension. Okay, so it's spinal extension. And then when I exhale, I'm going to round it, curve it, tuck my chin to my chest. And if you're somewhere where there's no back stopping you, you're going to use your hands on your knees as a support. You can also be cross-legged, hands on the knees as kind of like some brakes, so you don't roll backwards, but you can give yourself, you can kind of traction that, open the shoulder blades away from each other and really open into those back of the vertebrae. Inhale. So this is extension, and this is flexion. So see what feels good to you, or neutral, or what doesn't feel good, what causes pain. And then we have axial rotation. So by reaching my hand across the front of my body, I can bring my hand, if I'm on a chair, to the back of the chair, or even to the ground behind me, and I'm just going to look over my shoulder. And you can almost like imagine you're just wringing out a washcloth, and that's your spine. So you're kind of just twisting there. And maybe one way feels good and one way feels bad. And this can help you to talk with your doctor and your chiropractor about what might be happening, which way it might be bulging or slipping or herniated. And then the other way. So I don't know if you heard that, little tiny cracks in my back. My back cracks a lot because I sit way too much. So that's axial rotation. So we've done flexion, extension, axial rotation. Axial extension we pretty much talked about. That's basically when you're in a healthy posture, but then you also just imagine you lift your heart up. So see, it's very subtle, so see if you can see the difference. This is kind of neutral, and then axial extension is this. All right, I'm basically just lifting my heart up, and I'm just imagine like you're decompressing your spine. You're lifting up through the top of the head, lifting up, and that's axial extension. So that's not so much of a movement, but it is considered one of the movements of the spine. Maybe you notice some sensation from doing that in your back. And then finally, lateral flexion. And this is the one I said earlier, we don't get a whole lot in our bodies, and we don't move this way naturally much. You can put your hand next to you on the chair or on the floor. Bring the other arm up next to your ear. Palm is facing towards your head. And just very gently feel into the side. So a deep lateral flexion, I don't really have a lot of ground to hold here. That would be a deeper one. You don't have to go that far. It could literally just be this movement. And go slow if you're feeling into back pain, because that might cause more pain, but that will at least show you where your problem may lie. And again, one side might feel good, one side might feel really bad. So just kind of see what those all feel like. And then that might give you some insight into your back pain. I'll show you one last movement, and then I'll come over and read the comments, which works for a lot of back pain. It works for back pain that's related to, or even hip pain, and leg pain related to sciatica. And the sciatic nerve is a nerve that kind of runs down on your right side, down from your spine, like really like your SI joint, where your sacroiliac joint is, where your spine and your hip meet, and then down through your right butt cheek and even down into your whole right leg. So you can do this in a chair as well, but I'll show it laying down. So you can even do this in your bed. When you're laying down, you cross your right ankle onto your left knee, and that might be enough of a stretch for you, and you can just hang out here. And you might explore with bringing your left foot closer to your butt or moving it away. If you move it away, you might feel a bit of a stretch just like that. If you want a deeper stretch, you can lift both legs, really driven by the left leg, towards your chest, reach your right hand through that hole, hold onto the back of your thigh with both hands, and gently assist it in. And this is causing some decompression on the outside of the right hip, and oftentimes that's where the nerve, the sciatic nerve, is getting pinched. And you can even use your right elbow, I don't know if you can see that clearly here, I have my right elbow on my right thigh to assist that knee and leg away from me to deepen the stretch. Okay? If you can't reach your thigh, you can use like a belt, or if you have a yoga strap or a necktie or something to hold on to you. You can really use like a shirt or pants or whatever, just something kind of hook around your leg and hold on, a towel. And you can do the other side as well, just so that you're nice and even, although this side is not really connected to sciatica. But you still don't want your body to be imbalanced. Oh, did we freeze? We got one of those comments. Hang on, guys. I can't see. I actually just lost all the comments because I think we got one of those Arabic, like, crash codes in here. We are still live on YouTube, and we should still be live on Periscope. I just have to come back into the broadcast myself.
You're still live. My phone crashed out.
Thanks, love. Yeah, so this is why I'm live from my computer today. Thanks for the 12,000 super hearts, by the way. So this is why I'm live from here, so that I can still stay live even when that happens. If it happens again, just close your app, come back in, and we'll still be here. Namaste to you too, Ron. Let me see how long we've been. Oh, we've already been live for an hour. Whoa, baby. Okay. I just gotta do. Thank you, Rhodey. Yeah, Jinx. Let me turn this off. Okay. So there's a lot more yoga I wanted to do, so I'm gonna see how much more I can get through here. Book Smart Rich Gang. I love that. That's still one of my favorite usernames ever. How have you been? How you doing? Let's see how many poses I have left on my list here. Because I do want to play games tonight too, so I'm just trying to get it all in. Okay, so we have Parshvattanasana, then our balance poses. I think we can skip chair pose, warrior 1, warrior 2. I demonstrated those, we did some of those. Yeah, then we'll do our seated poses. We should be good. And then we'll meditate at the end. All right. So Parshvattanasana is all 10 toes are pointing straight ahead. You can imagine that you're like on train tracks though, so your feet are separated. It's not like a tightrope, okay? So your feet are kind of separated. Hands can come to the hips to make sure that they're level. You don't want to be twisted. You don't want the hips twisted. You want them facing forward. You can have a slight bend in both knees. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, fold forward for 5 breaths. We'll come up and switch the legs. Folding again for 5 more breaths. Alright, so now we'll do our balance poses. Wait for my lightheadedness to pass. Okay, so now I'm going to do one-legged balance pose. So I'll take one hand on my left hand on my left hip, find a focal point, a drishti, something to focus on that's not moving. Bring my knee up. Hold on to my right toes with my right pointer and middle finger if I can. Straighten it out, fold over it. 5 breaths. Then open to the side for 5 breaths. Forward again. And then point the toe and hold for 5. Or fall. Let's try that again. Woo, baby. Other side. Let's work it out. We got this. Find a good focal point here. Excuse me. baby. Hi, Jack. All right. Yoga mat's been moving around. Okay. Tree pose with option for a lotus variation. Switch sides. All right, so now the seated postures. Feet straight ahead, Dandasana staff pose. Paschimottanasana, this one for 10 breaths. Reverse plank, 5 breaths. Lotus pose. Hands behind the back. Ten breaths on this one too. Switch the legs. 10 more breaths, this time hands on the knees in Chin Mudra. Now for the hovering part of the broadcast. 10 breaths if you can. Don't do it if it hurts. Whew. Time to meditate. Bring my chair over. What's what? Oh, you guys are making a bit of a shadow on me. That's okay. All right, so I love this chair to meditate in because the back is this perfect headrest. You're watching your grand dogs? That's nice of you. Here's a bunch of love for you guys. And also all of these hearts that I made to tape on Ed's car. Looks like we're still having the glitch issue, so I still can't do broadcasts from my phone very easily. So we'll do games tonight from the computer. All right, but first, let's meditate. So, nextjuice.com. You can click it. The link's in my profile if you want. It's just my website. It's not necessarily like about anything. It's just the website for this channel. It's got all my social media links on it. It's got the place where you can support. All sweaty a little bit. I'm just kind of a shiny person anyway. I have oily skin, so I'm not really sweaty. I'm just shiny. So I'm going to meditate. I invite you to meditate with me. I'm going to do a mantra meditation. I gotta pick my mantra. So one thing I'm trying to focus on lately and I'm becoming more aware of in myself is my desire to feel superior to other people. So I want to feel, and this is just being honest, you know, it's not something I was consciously aware of until pretty recently when I'm reading this book about mindset and about growth mindset and how people with a fixed mindset only feel like adequate and like they matter and relevant if they're superior to somebody. So whether it's like the masses, right? A lot of us want to feel like above average in general at something or many things. And how when I feel like I'm being challenged, I want to win, right? A competitive nature, this desire to be superior, to be the winner, to be supreme. I don't like that about myself. I don't want that to be, I don't mind being a productive person, but I don't want it to be at all driven by or valued by comparison to other people. So working on like personal best, personal growth, and allowing other people to have their space and not to feel like I need to challenge them and dominate, you know. So that's something I want to focus on. I'm trying to think of a good mantra for this. To you. Wait, I'm behind. What game is it going to be? I haven't decided yet. A lot of times I let the audience choose the game, so we'll just have to see. Where's the money going to? To me, to the business. It's just me that works here, though. I pay one administrator to work for me at $40 a month. She just works for me one day of the month to run my monthly numbers. That's Auburn Music. Some of you guys may follow her. She's a super talented musician and live streamer. But yeah, it just goes to me in this channel. Is it going to be a quiz? You like trivia? I don't know. Sometimes people like that, sometimes people don't. It'll just depend on who shows up pretty much. I'll probably let Chip choose because I'm doing it for Chip. So, mantra for that would be like, tricky. Yeah, Om's a very common mantra for sure. Let's see if I can find a good one. Here's one. My success is not due to any personal superiority over other people. It's a little bit long. Nobody is superior, nobody is inferior, but nobody is equal either. People are simply unique, incomparable. You are you, I am I. Let's stop believing that our differences make us superior or inferior to one another. I like all these, but they're kind of long to do as a mantra. Okay. All right, I think the mantra I'm going to use is that we are incomparable. We are incomparable. That's the meditation I'm going to use. How long have we been live? Okay, let's do a 10-minute meditation because I do want to have a good... Oh, I like to do 15-minute meditation. I'm going to do 15-minute meditation. It's okay. We'll still have more than an hour for games tonight. I'm home for a full month now. Yeah. How are you doing? How are you holding in? Okay, so I'm going to start with the meditation. That's the mantra I'm going to use. I encourage you to use a personal mantra that resonates with you. And I'll see you in 15 minutes. Actually, I'm even going to mute my microphone so you can't hear the background noise. repeat your mantra to yourself one final time. We are incomparable. And then gently start to deepen your breath, gathering in some energy, moving the body. Blinking open the eyes. And you can gently, when you're ready, close your meditation however you like. I like to bring my hands to my heart center, bow my chin to my chest, honor myself and my soul, honor my practice, remembering that anything that we practice we can get better at. Nothing is fixed, nothing is concrete, and nothing is forever. And then honoring each other. Namaste. Thanks for being here. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for all the support. Lots of super hearts there from Shara, from Rocky, from Angela, from Craig, from Midnight. Big thank you, you guys. Overflowing tip jar. I love it, love it, love it. Can't say thank you enough for you guys. Obviously, huge thank yous to these guys here who have supported on the website as well. Looks like my webcam got a little blurry. Let me see if I can clear that up before we end. I am going to be back later tonight to do some games. It is Friday night when I did this broadcast live. Oops, I lost my Instagram comments again. There we go. Hey, Josh. Yeah, so Josh's mantra was find your bliss. WTF's broadcast or mantra was ass. Hey, Tim. I did not fall asleep, Daryl. Nope. Hetty Topper, I was meditating. Don't worry, she's just meditating. Thank you, Jack. I know, 1,500. I know, can you believe it? It's crazy. When that came in, it was like 6 in the morning. Hey, Brett. Hey, Cher. Hey, Frankie. Hi, Ed. Ed's right in that room there, too. You sent me a funny one on Twitter? Okay, I'll have to check it. I love you guys. I hope to see you on the next juice. 3 main takeaways from this broadcast would be, if you don't have a yoga practice, you could start one if you wanted. 2 is always take some deep breaths that can help to calm you down. 3, decompress your neck by getting upside down, doing some forward folds, okay? So even if you don't want to do yoga, I guess maybe the first takeaway, instead of if you don't have a yoga practice, do something to keep your body moving when we can't go to the gyms and we can't really even go outside very much. So while we're home, figure out some kind of home movement practice that works for you guys, and take some deep breaths and decompress your neck by flipping upside down, just by doing a forward fold. And I hope to see you later tonight for some games. And remember, I go live on Periscope every single day, 7 days a week for 3 hours a day. And I'm live on YouTube right now as well, so you can subscribe over there. I have Instagram, Twitter. You can email me. All my contact info is at the link in the description. So, hey, Charles. Big thank you to everybody who makes this whole thing possible. I love sharing my practice with you guys. I love finding some calm energy among the group and just spreading positive energy. So, thank you so much. Hope to see you on the next juice. This has been A Moment in Time with Taylor. Hi, Charles. Bye, Charles. To this side.